So believe it or not, I went for a run earlier this week, which is not something I've been able to do for about 6 months, ever since I was in the hospital. And so even though my legs literally feel like bricks right now, it was great to be out doing something that was reminiscent of normal life. Hey, what's up? My name is Austin, and about 6 months ago, I was diagnosed with moderate to severe pan-ulcerative colitis, which is pretty gnarly stuff, and I've talked about it in a bit of detail on my channel already, so I'll just pick up where I left off in the timeline, which I believe was right after my first C-Diff infection. So right around that time, I was also put onto a new drug called Xeljanz. Now, Xeljanz is a heavier immunosuppressant, and honestly, this did a lot for me. Like within the first week, even, I was seeing dramatic results. Lower frequency of stools, like less blood, almost to like no blood. And I was able to increase the fiber in my diet from like maybe 5 grams or less a day to like 20, 30, 40. So it really seemed like things were in the clear and everything was going to be great. The only issue around that time was that the steroid that I was on was really messing me up. Like I had like moon face and I had a ton of acne, and I was kind of not depressed about the state that my physical appearance was in, but you know, it definitely wasn't awesome. Anyway, so around the time that I was tapering off prednisone, so it was like a 4-week taper, I believe, towards the very end, things started going downhill again, and I was really confused and concerned because my thought at the time was, like, Xeljanz is not working, and you know, it was actually the steroid and the Xeljanz together that was keeping me afloat, and I really don't want to go back on the steroid, and also maybe the Xeljanz failed. And so I was not in a good place mentally. I had a really tough time with things getting bad again, and I pride myself on being mentally strong through a lot of this, like seeing the silver lining and keeping my head up. But during this week and a half or whatever, I was not doing well. I was kind of depressed almost. And so anyway, I felt like it might be a reoccurrence of C-Diff, and so I talked to my doctor and I got a test, and it turned out it was another reoccurrence of C-Diff, and he put me on an antibiotic, which is how you deal with that, called vancomycin, and it should have cleared things up within 4 or 5 days, like a very short time period. But for me, it took like a week and a half to 2 weeks, so that even more so just exacerbated this feeling of, oh no, like this isn't gonna work again. And so anyway, now that I've had C. diff for a second time, I am eligible for a fecal matter transplant, which in principle is very gross, but clinically has proven to show really good results in stopping C. diff again. Because I'm an immunosuppressant and I have UC, I'm at a much higher risk of being reinfected with C. diff. And so if I can get this done, that's gonna be really great. More than that, in the past 6 months, I've been able to put a lot of the weight back on. I lost initially during my time in the hospital, or like around the time I was in the hospital. So when I left the hospital the first time, I was like 120 pounds, and I started at a baseline of like 165, 160. Right now I'm 150, so I've been able to eat a lot more food and I'm losing less blood and, you know, holding more stuff in, so that's a really good sign. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'm actually able to run again, which is for me just the most amazing thing, because like even right before I was put in the hospital, I was running almost every single day. And so I really missed it, so I'm glad that's back in my life. And now in terms of my diet, I'm still being very careful about what I put into my body. I'm not taking a lot of chances. I'm doing basically like a whole foods vegetarian diet or pescatarian diet, so I'll have fish sometimes, but mostly I stay away from any meats and dairy and fats. I'll do like a smoothie every morning that has like banana, blueberry, and a ton of different like nutritional powders that include servings of fruits and vegetables, as well as flaxseed and some other fun stuff in there. So that's like my main driver. I'll also do oatmeal and like mashed potatoes, and I've expanded a little bit to some other foods, but they're all pretty tame. And so plans moving forward, as I mentioned, I'm gonna have this fecal matter transplant, which once again is very gross, and I recognize that, but hey, if it works, then I don't really care. More than that, I am feeling well enough to where I can actually go back out into the world again, which at this time, which is, you know, still towards the tail end of the pandemic, is a little concerning because I haven't gotten my vaccine yet. I'm not pushing it off for any other reason other than I'm waiting to get a little bit better before I try to deal with any side effects that might come from getting the vaccine. But but I am going to get it. And another fun update is that I will actually be interning at a startup out of my university over the summer. So I'm really looking forward to being around some of my friends again and being around just like real people involved in like a campus community. And even though I will have to be more precautious to not get sick because I'm on an immunosuppressant, I am just thrilled to be doing something that reminds me of real life again. So I think there's nothing really better than that. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions or concerns or want to talk about what you're going through with IBD, please leave a comment. I like to chat about this just because it's cool to talk to other people about what's going on with them. And if you want to check out any of my other UC videos, I have a playlist that I'll put like right here, or you can find in the description down below. So happy healing, take care, and we'll see you around.